Dear Diary, today I got to play the new old Zelda game. Welcome everyone, welcome to the channel. I am Gabriel Fast. I do claim to be the Wannabe Critic. This is officially the first entry of Dear Diary, a review slash recap slash walkthrough slash let's play baby thing that I'm doing. Essentially, it's pretty simple. Sit down and play a game for about an hour or so, recap what happened, and then give my thoughts on what I played. It's a relatively simple enough idea, and I think it's a good way to keep my content creation sharp, you know? So, here we are. This is the first part of my Skyward Sword review. I pre-ordered this the day it was announced because I never played this one, and I'm super duper excited. If this is your first time here, I would ask that you consider subscribing. It would mean the world. But let's get on to it. So first things first, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. The game begins with the main character, I named mine Link, of course, having a strange dream, and then waking up, receiving a letter from Zelda saying that he needs to go meet her before this wing ceremony. You then come to learn that the wing ceremony is essentially a knighting ceremony, which involves flying a giant bird through the sky, trying to complete a task and beat the other contestants. Once you get out of bed and get around, you start exploring the town, as well as completing a few different tasks from some of the people around the area known as Skyloft, which is where you live. I did decide to go ahead and, try and familiarize myself with the area as well as the controls a little bit more, because after all, this was a Wii game that's been converted to a controller. Once we go to see Zelda, we talk to her for a little bit, and we come to realize that this ceremony, this wing ceremony slash knighting ceremony, is a pretty big deal. And Zelda tells her father that Link is probably going to suck because he hasn't been practicing. We then come to know that Link's bird is special. It's a red loftwing, which is mega rare, like a shiny Pokemon. But everyone in Skyloft essentially has a loftwing, and you come to realize that these birds were given by the goddess and are essentially the other half to make you whole. Kind of like Avatar. Zelda suggests that they go ahead and practice and to just launch himself right off the ledge because he can call his bird, it'll come and swoop and pick him up. But plot twist, it actually doesn't. The bird has gone missing. After a couple more steps, we come to meet a character named Groose, who has obviously hidden your bird, and then we spend the majority of our time looking for your bird afterwards. Groose is a major tool, and it's pretty evident that he's in love with Zelda. After you search for the bird and then familiarize yourself a little bit with the combat controls, you end up finding information on where your bird is. You go and find it, and Zelda meets you there, and she starts to have these, something strange happen to her, maybe kind of in a similar manner as to what happened to you in the very beginning of the game. After you free your bird, you go for a ride with Zelda, and Zelda tells you that she wants to see what's below the clouds. Since, Skyloft is essentially a sanctuary in the sky, she wonders what's actually below, and she goes on to say that no one has actually ever been below the clouds. We don't have much time to waste though, because it is the wing ceremony after all. We have to go ahead and do the race, which after we win the race, we obtain the ceremonial sailcloth, which is, this is kind of a ritualistic part of this wing ceremony, and essentially it's basically like the glider from Breath of the Wild. After that, you go on another flight with Zelda, but after you're flying, she falls into a dark tornado of sorts and is seemingly taken by something evil. After that, we have another strange vision and realize that our journey to save the princess is most likely about to begin. After communicating with the being in Link's vision, you follow her to the goddess statue, which is where I stopped. So that's what happened in my first, hour or so of playtime. I didn't get as far as I would liked, but there was a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of reading in this game, which is one thing I'm not crazy about, but still, there are plenty. That's pretty much the only bad thing, honestly. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This game, it looks a little old for sure. When did Skyward Sword come out? Like 2009 or something like that? What's Skyward Sword's original release date? Yeah, so it came out in 2011. So this game is 10 years old. Now, that being said, I've played plenty of other 10-year-old games on different consoles that actually feel better than this. So how does this stack up? Zelda has always kind of had this thing of being timeless, like no matter what age you're in or how old the game gets, it's supposed to be, you should be able to just pick it up and play it. Kind of like Ocarina of Time, kind of like Twilight Princess. It being a Wii game kind of antiquates it because, the whole gimmick around the Wii was the motion controls. So, well, I'm not going to say it's exactly like playing Ocarina of Time or, Skyward Sword or Breath of the Wild for that matter. I will say they've done a nice job of making these controls at least feel unique and feel different and feel like it could have come out on the Nintendo Switch. At first glance, they do seem a bit squirrely, but after you spend a little bit of time with it, you know, I spent a little bit of time in the sparring room trying to, you know, really nail down the controls. There's not a lot really to get down as far as the sword play goes in the beginning. I know I said it looks a little old, but it has that Zelda charm to it, to where it still looks, I mean, it still looks good for a remaster. I mean, it looks like a Zelda game. And I think that's the best thing you could say about the game at this point is, you know, and a lot of people are going to be like, well, is it worth $60? I don't know. I think, you know, you can probably go find a copy of Skyward Sword for $30 or $40 on the Wii. So you could save some money there and play it on the Wii, or you could spend, you know, 20 extra bucks to have it, you know, updated graphics and have it on the Switch. I can't make a lot of allowances for the price point because as of right now, it doesn't feel like I think a lot of people are going to be mad that this game is $60. I'm not mad because I know exactly what I was getting whenever I purchased it. And to me, already I'm enjoying myself a lot, and I'm really enjoying the feelings that this game is giving me. The music's beautiful, the graphic, you know, the thing about Zelda is the way the scenery and the music and everything kind of comes together. It doesn't have to be like the greatest game of all time for it to mean something and to make you feel something. And I think that's what I really, really like about this game so far. I'm invested, I'm interested, I want to see what happens. All in all, so far, I'm super excited. I'm super happy with my purchase. And I'm happy that, you know, I'm happy that we have another Zelda game on the Switch. And, you know, I'm coming around to Breath of the Wild more, which that's for another video for another time. But yeah, this is nice to be able to have on the Switch, and I don't have to, you know, get on my Wii U and play, you know, the older Zelda games there. So who knows, maybe this is a sign that Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are going to show up sometime on the Switch. Who knows? But did you pick it up? It's brand new. What do you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know what you are thinking of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, the remaster, of course, for the Switch. And of course, I would love to know what you think of this content, if you like this style of video or not. Of course, this is just part one of many of this series, and I'll have them out whenever they're done. So thank you so much for tuning in, and before I go, please check this out. Well, whatever possessed you to check out any of the content that you saw today, I just want to say thank you so much for doing so. If you check the description down below, you'll see that there's a variety of different projects that I'm associated with. This is Wannabe Critic Productions after all. So I just wanted to say, if you enjoyed what you saw today, consider giving some of those other projects a chance as well. There's a lot of stuff that I'm a part of that that I do. If you were here for me or for someone else that you saw today, again, just thank you for checking it out, and I hope to see you again. But until next time, I'm Gabriel Fast, and I'll always be the Wannabe Critic.